Social media looks glamorous. Everything looks shiny, beautiful, like everything's going perfect.
There's a huge element of like comparison, and we know that comparison is the thief of joy.
Everybody's fighting their own battle, right? The David and Goliath story. Everybody has a Goliath in their life.
You can stop, you can start, you can keep going, and it's going to be okay. It's all okay. Welcome to the Social Edge podcast. I'm Georgia.
And I'm Isho.
And today we're getting real about burnout and mental health on social media.
Social media looks glamorous,
Yeah.
right? In front of people, everything looks shiny, beautiful, like everything is going perfect. But in the background, a lot of people have anxiety, burnout, and really in some sort of shape or form, they're facing pressure. And they get to the point where they're trying to figure out, how do I stay relevant and keep up with the trends and stay within the flow. So we're excited to dive into this because I think this is quite a topic for us to unpack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we want to talk about the dark side of social media, which is that this can really impact people. Yeah. It can affect you. There's a huge element of like comparison. Massive. And we know that comparison is the thief of joy.
That's it.
So how can we protect our mental health on social media while still utilizing it as a resource to build our brands?
Yeah, boundaries. Oh my gosh, that just comes as a massive little flag for me.
Yeah,
boundaries are everything. I think people really need to think about how much time they spend on social media and what platforms, and the reason why. I think that's number one, because we can all get scrolling, we can get distracted, and in different phases in life that could often take over our life a little bit. Like for somebody like myself, I really enjoy my work. I enjoy, for example, fitness. I do a lot of different events in my free time and a whole bunch of different things. So in a sense, if I get a little bit carried away to get too invested, certain areas of my life in those different phases could suffer. So in a sense, I think it's setting boundaries, but also prioritizing rest. I think a lot of people talk about, especially we live in a world where it's all about business, it's all about work hard, the grind, stay late, or you're young, you can do it now. But actually, I want to say rest is just as important as hard work. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
I love this. And I think one thing I really want to think about is how building a brand online can cause burnout. Yeah. But I think we need to break our thinking into two groups. Yes. So we've got like people on social media who are consumers. They're just consuming content, and they occasionally post. Then we've got people on social media who are creators, and they're creating content, and they're experiencing burnout potentially from the pressure of content creation and the pressure of putting some stuff out, keeping their audience engaged, selling, and all of that. So like looking at the two different groups, on the consumer side, mental health becomes an issue when you are comparing yourself to others, when you are and obviously everyone can fall into both categories. You can be consumer at times and a creator at times. So people who are consuming primarily or falling into the trap of consumerism on social media, and that's affecting their mental health. It will be things like, comparison, feeling pressured, like that sort of like keeping up with the Joneses.
The lack of boundaries and almost, trying to do everything.
Yeah, lack of boundaries, but the keeping up with the Joneses sort of like idea of like, oh, so-and-so is like always wearing this. And like if you're in a business space, like so if you're in, if you've got like a brand, a personal brand, or you're a business owner, you might look at your competitors. Oh, they're always posting this great content and we're not posting that great content. Like we have clients who like always comparing themselves to others, always comparing themselves to others and like looking at other people. Oh, they've grown this much and I've only grown that much. And but really, I think in terms of like consuming and therefore comparing yourself, you really need to stay in your lane. Oh my gosh, right?
Absolutely.
You can only compare, like it's a great like life philosophy, but it applies to social media too. Like you should only compare yourself to your past you. That's or like you can only compare yourself to yourself. So if you stop like utilizing other people as a form of comparison and instead use them as a form of inspiration, you're going to be inspired by people doing better than you. You're going to take something from them. You're going to learn something from them, and you're going to put it into yourself rather than looking at them and going, oh, but they're doing better than me. Like, you really need to just like pivot your mindset, and it's easier said than done, but it's that kind of like cup half full, cup half empty approach. But if you start looking at the people doing better than you, and instead of like saying, oh, they're doing better than me and being discouraged by it, and instead say, oh, they're doing better than me, what can I like learn from them, and how can I put that into my strategy? You're going to really grow rather than be hindered and then held back. So that's that one group, you know, those consumers and like how that can affect your mental health. But then looking into the people who are creators and they're falling into burnout. Let's unpack this a little bit. Yeah. Why is burnout so common among creators and entrepreneurs?
I mean, you touched on it already a little bit. It's all about the pressure to perform. I think that's number one. And one of the things I wanted to touch on the back of what you said not long ago is the aspect of everybody's fighting their own battle, right? The David and Goliath story. Everybody has a Goliath in their life that they're fighting. So no matter how big it might be for you, on the outside, for me, it might not really look that big of a deal. So the perspective on things will never be what you internally believe it to be. Yeah. So, you know, we might look at people that are performing well and say, oh my gosh, how did they get there? And I'm not performing well. They might have had 5 years of the worst time. You're looking at the finish line,
or you're looking at like, them 5 years into the journey. You haven't seen their come up process, or their struggle.
So I think it just comes down to that, the pressure, the comparison, the lack of boundaries. But I think the important part to think about is conserving your mental energy and how you show up every single time. Now, what do I mean by this? Oftentimes when we're in the online space, whether that's personal brands or businesses developing content, you have to really think about how much time you set aside to film or to content create, but also doing it well. Doing it to the point where when you look back at what you're producing, you're kind of like, wow, I put 110% into this. It's well thought through. It's really targeting my audience. No matter how it will perform, I know that I did my best by my research that I did, navigating the content, whatever it may be. Yeah. And that in a way will take away the pressure of having to think, oh, was I good enough? Did I do well? Coming prepared almost will.
But like, let's tap into that because like we help clients go on that journey. And like, I always say to people, our strategies are evolving, i.e., we're changing the strategy every day, every week, every month. We're growing your account, and that's how you grow an account.
That's it.
I think people get stuck and they think, oh, well, the content just hasn't performed. So we're not doing it right. Well, great. We've identified that something isn't working. Let's pivot. Let's try something new. Let's bring in a new concept. You found this person who's doing a really good job and they're focusing on a different angle.
What can we model, right?
Yeah. What can we gauge from that? And how can you try that strategy like as part of your strategy? And I really feel that when you take that approach, which is like to just keep developing, you're going to go further anyway. Because you're not going to get so stuck. And that's the truth. I think people get stuck, and I think that can cause that pressure, which can then lead to burnout, because it also is because like perhaps you're making content creation too hard for yourself because you're trying so hard to get it perfect, and then you're falling into that trap of basically getting burnt out, getting tired, getting worn out. But also what you said about boundaries and like your work and your personal life, and not like falling too much into this. Like, I've really worked on this, and I will say, like, personally, I am someone I think is quite good with their boundaries in certain areas. In the sense that, like, for me, if I'm like spending time with my family, my phone can be blowing up and I just won't even look at it. If I don't want to, I just won't look at it. If I want to give it space, if I want to give it time, if I want to deal with the issue at hand, I will. But if I feel like actually this thing I'm protecting right now, like this space with my daughter, with my family, or if for example, even if I'm in a meeting with you and things are blowing up, like if this is what I'm present in the moment, this deserves my attention and the other stuff doesn't. So it's like, you have to be present, I think, is really the only answer. If you're present in the moment of wherever you are in your situation in your life, then you will protect that presence and you will protect that boundary. Because I think what happens is, if people are like letting the two overlap too much, it can become a bit all-encompassing and the pressure can creep in. But also it's about sustainability. Like, you might think when you're starting out in your socials that you need to post every day, but you actually don't.
You don't. Yeah.
Okay, there's benefits to posting every day. There's benefits to content going out constantly. But if you can't sustain it, you're better off like committing to a strategy which you can sustain long term. And when you can, supplement it with more or do a little bit extra than starting something and then in a month or two burning out.
That's it.
Like, do you agree?
Yeah. I want to unpack this with you a little bit further. Why is it important to have those boundaries in a way where when you are spending time with family, for the sake of the example, you are focusing 100% your attention on that? Or if you are spending time with your executive team in your business, why is it important to focus on that specifically other than everything?
We have been conditioned to believe that multitasking is like a real thing that we can all do. And someone will say, I'm a great multitasker. But actually, like, no one can fully multitask at 100% in multiple areas at the same time. So like, I can't sit here with you 100% present in this conversation whilst texting or whilst focusing on something else. In order for this to have my 100% and like have all my effort and be 100% the best that I can deliver, I have to give it 100% of my energy in this moment. Does that mean that like other things need me right now? Yes. Like, I've had to put my phone on do not disturb and ignore anything that's coming in this moment, so that for like 30, 40 minutes, I can sit here and talk about this topic with you. Does that mean that sometimes things are in the background, like can be happening? Yes. But the point is, if you're present, you're going to produce your best in that moment, even if it's like for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It doesn't matter how much time you're dedicating to it. But if you're present for that moment, giving that thing your 100%, it means that you can then be 100% present in your next thing. So you're better off, like when it comes to social media and content creation, you're better off blocking out 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of your day and like going, right, I'm just going to shoot some content and that's it. And whatever I get done in that minute, in that amount of time that I've dedicated to it, that's my best and that's what I've got to give to this process. Then saying, oh, I'm just going to like shoot like at all different times. But like, you can be strategic, right? This is the thing. Like, you know, people getting burnt out. Well, why not just diversify your content so that it's not so pressured? Like, for example, like set up a tripod, film some B-roll content that can be utilized to fill gaps. Why not like create some content that's like more evergreen, like, you know, basically that it can be utilized again and again and again, or it can be repurposed in different ways. Or like film long content like this. So like if you film a podcast, for example, or a long form video, you can chop that content up into clips.
You can have it for months.
So and you can create lots more. So I think like you can be strategic and smart. And we work with our clients on like based around what works for them. So like we help them develop a strategy that works for them. Like, for example, like for me right now, there's no point me committing to like filming a video every day of the week, because I'm just not going to do it and it's not going to suit my time and it's not going to suit my life. But what I can do is I can do something like this with you. I've set out this time. I've put it in my calendar. I'm here. I'm present. I'm doing this with you. And then from this, we'll create loads of clips.
One day can create multiple weeks of content.
So I think to avoid burnout, just be a bit more strategic, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the strategies you touched on is time blocking. If you're not time blocking, definitely do it. It will save you so many headaches. But also more than that, be very strategic about your setup. You can, at home, if you have a home office or in your actual office with your team, you can set up a corner where the camera's ready all the time, the lighting's ready. You just go and you flick a switch and then you're ready to film. Create space of things that you don't have to think about. So when it comes to the content that you have to film, that's the only thing you have to think about. One thing I want to touch on really quickly, just to go one step backwards, is, we talked about spending time with family and other important parts other than the work or the thing that you're kind of focusing on majority of your time is, if you give a lot of time to your family or to your friends and having that social life, I think you recharge in such a different way to then show up 100% at your job or at your content creation, whatever it may be, because you feel like then
you're a bit more energized.
And in a sense, almost like, for example, with my girlfriend, right? I travel often, like you mentioned. I would have to film content. I have meetings. I have different things going on. But when it comes to like date night, we have date nights twice a week as much as we can. And if I give her that time, next time I go, hey, babe, I have to go and film, she's so supportive and so encouraging. Go, hey, babe, go and smash it. Have the best time. Why? Because I know how to be present in the same way with the same effort as I am when it comes to shooting this podcast, working, whatever it may be. So what are your thoughts on that in the sense of like creating healthy environment for your friends and family or the people around you to support you, positive reinforcement?
100%. I think it's like, what fills your cup. Identify what fills your cup. Make sure you do that.
What is that for you, really quickly? What fills your cup?
So many different things. And in different seasons, it's different, right? And there's things that fill my cup annually, like spa trips or going away. Like, I love to travel. I really love weekends away, like getaways. I always feel like they feel so special because they're short and they just feel like really like precious. But I love like little things like that. They fill my cup for like longer periods. Then in terms of like my day-to-day, like spending time with my daughter, that fills my cup. She's my number one priority above everything else. Even though like the business is so important to me, like everything else is important to me, like she alongside my husband, they're my number one priorities. So they get my 100% every single day before anything else. And if I can't give them my 100%, actually, like, let me give you this analogy. Like,
go for it.
So a study has been shown that like when you connect with your child, if they like, there's 3 really important connection points. When they just wake up, when like from a nap or from their sleep. The second is like when if you've just been out of the room or you've been away from them, when you first see them again, and then before you put them down for a nap or before you put them to bed. So in those moments, I always am so present. So like if my daughter just wakes up from a nap, I like connect with her. Hi, how are you? And like I pander
and this is actually
to her.
True. I can vouch for this because we've sometimes been on calls and you go, oh, Thea's waking up, we hang up. You go.
Yeah. It's like, that's a connection point.
That's it.
And why this is like important in terms of this topic is like, use social media in a strategic way to connect with your audience and then pull away. But like, I don't obviously pull away from my daughter, but what I'm saying is like, you have to focus your energy. So you want to connect with your audience on a daily basis, if that's your choice, connect with them via your stories, quick connection point. Hey guys, just checking in. How are you? Ask me anything. Like, do an ask me anything thing on your stories, or do a quick video. Share where you are. Like, connect in with your audience. Make them feel recognized. Make them feel loved. Make them feel all those different feelings. And then go back to your rest of your day. Don't feel the pressure. Just touch point. Go. And then, like, so with my daughter, it's like, those are the most important moments. I have to be really present. I can't look at my phone. I can't be distracted. It's like, I have to zone in. Then, like, of course, I can't 100% of the time be completely zoned in. I am on like our days when I'm not working, like, and I work like 2 days a week, full days. Well, they're not even full days. They're like half days. But, I have these days where I'm like away from her for periods of time. Like, I find that really hard.
Yeah.
But when I'm away from her, I know that she's like with her grandparents, for example, and she's being loved and looked after and has attention.
Shout out to the grandparents.
Thank you, grandparents. But when I come back to her, then I'm like,
Energized,
I'm back
ready,
and I'm so energized. And then we can then go about our life in like a normal way.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's a really powerful concept. Because if we actually take that concept and like you think, okay, what are my key touch points with my audience? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it like 3 times a week? And in those touch points, you are connecting with your audience. You're leaving a lasting impression. You're giving them value.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go away. And during the go away time, like the time when you're not in that detailed, deep connection point, you don't need to really worry about keeping them, like you're not hand holding them.
Trust the process a little bit,
you don't
right?
need to hold their hand constantly during that other time. But you've had that thoughtful and meaningful connections where you've been 100% present. I feel like that can really help people feel like the release of
my gosh, I hope
you don't need to post every minute of every day. You just need to make your posting time really meaningful and deeply connected.
Yeah, make people feel special, really, truly, authentically special.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, just always going back to evolution, like always growing. Think about where the amount of credibility and content this is going to produce for you 2 years from now. When, for example, in your personal brand, you want to maybe help new mums going into this process navigate.
You can be strategic.
Oh my gosh, there's so
you
much,
can utilize it.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
okay, I think because we've talked about burnout, why not like talk about what are the signs of burnout and how can you recognize them? Like, let's help people on the journey. If you're a content creator, you're a business owner, you have a personal brand, what if maybe people are suffering from this, they don't even realize they're doing it or they don't realize they're falling into this. Because what actually is good is if we can catch it before we're burning out.
Oh my gosh.
And then
make the shift, right?
Make a shift, So what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think there's 3 I have that I've been thinking about. One is emotional exhaustion. Feeling the overwhelm, the pressure constantly, kind of dreading to film, dreading to show up, your energy's off. I'll just list them and we can go through them. Loss of motivation and creativity. You're not quite sure you're showing up like yourself. You're not like, oh, come on, let's do this, like genuine excitement. You're kind of like, oh, let's do it, whatever. And then ultimately that will kind of appear on camera at the end of the day. And the physical symptoms, which could be something like fatigue, insomnia, losing sleep, overthinking about what you're actually doing, double questioning your strategy or your mission or your vision. So I think those are top 3 that we know based on experience. And I've kind of seen perhaps one or the other in my own journey, but also with clients. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it comes back to the why behind why you're doing it all. Because people I've noticed who tend to get like more exhausted from like producing content is either maybe that they've lost interest in what they're doing, or they aren't really clear on their message. They have kind of lost sight of that. Whereas the people who just continue to keep showing up, it's the ones that are like passionate about their message. They're passionate about their why. It may not be that their content's already producing the best results for them in the sense that like they haven't fully arrived yet in terms of like their perfect ROI or, the sales aren't pouring in, they're like sort of flowing in. And yet they keep going because they have a good, strong why behind what they're doing. And I think maybe the ones that are struggling more, it's because maybe you haven't quite got your message right. Because if you're passionate about what you're doing and your rationale behind why you're doing it, it's a bit easier to produce the content. Also, it maybe you're just trying to film the wrong kind of content. You're putting too much pressure on yourself to film like this perfect video or tips or things like that. And actually you would be better placed to film something a bit more conversational, a bit more authentic, topics around the area so that you have the ability to like give that value and then utilize it in a different way. So I would say this, like if you're doing this on your own, maybe just have a a step back, rethink. I was speaking to someone recently, someone close to me actually, and they were saying like about relaunching their personal brand. And they were like, yeah, I'm thinking about relaunching my personal brand. And, you know, someone reached out and they said they want to help me. And they sort of said like, what do you think? Should I do it? And I was like, before you launch your personal brand, I think what you need to really figure out is like what you want to give to the world. What is your story? What are you trying to share? Like what do you want to help people with? Like, why are you doing it? Because when you've got that bit like nailed down, like, and that can take time. It can take some time to really work through, think about. Once you've figured that out, you can then launch your personal brand, and you can, the longevity point, right? You can keep it going. You can sustain it. Whereas if you just like fall into the trap of building a brand around something that doesn't last, and there's room to change, right? Like for sure. I launched my lawyer brand like previously. I loved it when I did it, and it was like at the time I was like a trainee lawyer, right? It made sense. Like it was easy because it was what I was doing. But as my personal life like led me in a different direction, it became hard to like use that brand because like I couldn't sustain it because it was no longer relevant to my life. That can happen, and like if that's happened to you, that's fine. Either pivot the account, close it down, be willing to let it go. But if you start something that isn't true to you or authentic to you, it is going to feel like those feelings you identified, which is like you're going to start feeling like dreading filming content. You're going to start feeling the pressure. You're going to start feeling like anxious. You're going to start feeling unmotivated.
You have to almost like create space to detox often. You know, it's so funny. Like when it comes to our physical body, we're so good at going to the masseuse, going to the spa, doing the facials. But actually we need to also look after our brain, and our mental health, our mind. Often.
We're just tapping into one key area. Like I'm sure there's so much that people can unpack about this conversation. And like, you know, we're not giving you guys everything, but we're just bringing up some of our thoughts that we see every day with our clients. And I would just say maybe like you're saying, like if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, unmotivated, like some takeaways that you can do. One, rethink through your content strategy. Talk, if you're working with someone like us, speak with your client manager. Say, you know what? This is just actually getting too hard for me. Like I'm unmotivated. I feel worn down. I don't enjoy filming this content. So how can we come up with a new strategy to create content that's going to take pressure off me?
Maybe you have the team to add to your content calendar that they can help you film.
Maybe the team help you think about a new way of creating content that's going to be easier for you. So that's one. Like take stock. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people you're working with. Say, I feel like we need to go in a different direction. Two, look at your message.
That's it.
Look at your message. Is your message actually true to yourself? Is it true to your business and your brand? It's the same for like businesses. Like if you've got a business profile, like if you're struggling to like get it across, maybe you need to like relook at your offer. Your offer might not be perfect. Look at your offer again. Then look at how you can recreate content around your offer. Just take stock.
That's it. Or readapt. Absolutely. I think practically when it comes to navigating how you just operate out of just operational standpoint, make things easy for yourself. Time block if you're not time blocking. Create a space that's easy to film, something quick. You don't have to go in, pull tripods, setting cameras, writing scripts, have everything ready. One of the things that we do, for example, is we spend quite a good amount of time at the beginning of every month to really think about our content we want to put out, write the scripts or really think about what we're sharing, and then time blocking the way we film in such way that is impactful for the business, for our audience, but also isn't creating this overwhelm.
But also I want to give people a bit of reassurance on one thing.
Yes, go for it.
If you took a week off, 2 weeks off, a month off, a year off, my goodness, like I believe I'm actually living proof.
That's it. I was gonna say
I'm living proof. Like, but there's people who do it all the time. Like if you need to take some time out because of a real life circumstance, a big event, or you're just really feeling like you need to take time, or like you want to take stock and you want to stop take stock and really think about it. Like, your audience probably, most likely, aren't going to disappear.
Absolutely not.
If you take that time.
Yeah.
One thing you can do is you can actually inform your audience.
That's
you can
it.
say,
Keep them in the loop.
you know, guys, I'm actually going to take some time out. Like Selena Gomez, most followed woman on Instagram. She takes time out. She just says, guys, I'm actually going to take some time out. I want to detox from social media and then I'm going to come back. And when she comes back as if nothing's happened.
That's
you know,
it.
I think you can inform your audience and you can say, I'm taking some personal time out. I'm going on vacation. This big life event has happened, etc., etc. I want to take the pressure off anyone listening.
Yeah.
If you need to have some time out, or if you've had time out and you're worried about getting started again, I believe you can pick it back up where you started. You can pivot. You can start again. You can, like, don't get in your head of feeling like I can't continue. I can't stop. I can't start. Actually, it's really not that deep. Like, that's the thing, right? We think it's so deep because we think about our social media as if like our whole life is around this thing. But actually, you know what? And our whole business is around this thing. But if you take a break, I guarantee you can pick back up again.
And you can come back stronger.
And you can come back stronger.
Yeah.
And also, like, even for a business, right? Like, a business can pause if it really had to. If something catastrophic happens and you need to pause, you can do that.
You can do that.
You know, yes, there can be ramifications and consistency is key, but I guarantee, like, sometimes, like, you can come back stronger, like you said.
Absolutely.
So, pressure off. Just take that pressure off, let it go.
Yeah. Mental health is more important than the metrics. And really, at the end of the day, prioritize and balance your mental health and how you feel more than what you have to do. I think that's the important part.
So we're going to set out some ways that you can balance mental health with social media demands. And so if this is, like, really something you're struggling with, take these away, start to put it into your life. So we've touched on one of them over and over about setting boundaries. So, you know, you can schedule breaks, you can have digital detoxes, or you can just be present in the moment. And so it's like, you know, like iPhones, like, they have the do not disturb function. Utilize that, you know? Like,
the
one thing my
out
husband does, is like, you can set timers. So it's like you only use social media for like 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, an hour a day. And then it sort of says you've run out of time and that's like your cue. I'm off now.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. I think that's great. I think that's great. Yeah. Time block, make sure that you really spend time in a way that's really just consistent and intentional.
Yeah. But also, what about, like, just delegating, like automating the process?
Oh my gosh.
You know, if you're working with a team who are doing it for you, like that's what we offer, right? We're a done for you solution.
I think we're so excellent and efficient at doing this so well at a level that not many companies in the space offer. And I really want to shout out our client success team, our ops team on the back end. We really have this nailed down in terms of automation, delegation. Not everything that you have to get ready and get sorted, you have to do yourself every single day of the week.
The thing is, like, one of our things that we help our clients do is we want you to focus on your business and growing your business and what's important to you, so that we then take the stress of socials away.
Yes.
That's what our offer. No. But, like, one of the things that we have, like, worked with clients on is, like, when they are taking time out, they will communicate to us. They will say, you know what, I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, a month off. I don't want to film any content. What can I do to get ahead so that I can take that time? Like, they'll communicate that with us. And what our team will do is they'll prepare the content in advance. They'll, like, get some B-roll content from them. They'll utilize past content. They'll chop up previous content. They'll reutilize content. Like, you can repost old content if it's been like a year. Flipping heck, repost it, you know, like, re-edit it, change it around. Like, we've actually seen, like, a massive, like, for one of our clients, we've reposted content from, like, a year and a half ago that went viral.
Performing crazy right now, right?
It's having a resurgence. Like, we've just re-edited it in a new, like, more, like, current editing style.
That's it.
It's like, and it's been able to be reutilized or even chopped in a different way. Like, it's
because it's evergreen, right? The content is evergreen. Yeah.
So I feel like if you can delegate to your team, you can take that pressure off and just say, like, I want some time out. Can you just take this over for me for the month? Like, post out. And it may mean that you have to post a little bit less. So if you are posting, like, 7 days a week, 5 days a week, drop it down to 3.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you're strategic in how you do it, your audience might not even notice.
And it might even perform better, right?
It may perform better. So
Yeah.
I feel like, there's things that you can do. We've touched on so much stuff in this episode. There's things you can do to take that pressure off. But what we want to say is like, we understand.
We definitely understand.
Totally understand. We are, this is a judgment-free zone. We we really understand. And we really,
haven't arrived yet
we
anywhere,
know that our clients often face this struggle. I face the struggle. You face the struggle. We understand. So we want you to feel that you can keep going. And if anything, take away from this podcast that you should be encouraged that you can stop, you can start, you can keep going. And it's going to be okay. It's all okay.
Absolutely. Well, if this episode resonated with you, we would love it if you would give us a like, subscribe, and perhaps watch some of the episodes that we've shot before. Stick around for some more. There are some really crazy episodes coming up.
Yeah.
And the rest are very excited for them. Until then, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.